Welcome back to JumpScare. I'm Betty.
And I'm Shad.
And tonight we just viewed, right now, like 10 minutes ago, Devil's Reign, 1975. A film that Shad has been trying to get me to watch since we started dating about 3.5 years ago. Wow. I'm speechless. That's all I have to say. I'm like, what did I just fucking watch? And what? Take it, Chad. Because I'm just going to sit here. I have so many questions. Maybe you can answer.
Okay. What's the first question?
Well, first of all, let's throw out the plot.
Okay.
So you take it.
The plot is that
this is a crazy fuck movie.
The 1600s, yes, there's that too. There was a group of devil worshippers led by Jonathan Corbus, played by Ernest Borgnine. They all sold their souls to the devil, and they were all going to be rewarded in hell. But before that could happen, one of the members of the group stole the book that had all their names written down on it that was necessary. I guess you had to, like, as you're going into hell, you got to count off the names in the book or something. I'm sure hell has accountants.
Yes, it has accountants. There's also, like, the whole thing that, like, during the Salem witch trials, your name would be put in the devil's, like, book. Your name was in the book. Like, in the Witch,
you had to sign your name in the book. So it's similar to that.
Yeah.
And
it's like the pact.
One of the members took the book and took it and hid it, and then turned them all in to the witch finders. And they were all promptly burned at the stake, including the person who turned the book in, had turned the cult in. So, the book stayed hidden from that and was never found.
And Corbus, being the, head leader of this coven, the disciple of the devil, he goes and puts a curse while he's engulfed in flames, by the way, which he, like, literally was like, flames, to, like, bring him. He was like, bring on the flames, bitch. I'm coming back. It was a very intense moment. But, he's like, you can't get rid of me. I'm going to fucking come back. And he does, like, this crazy fuck monologue. It's, like, very 1600s. It's very powerful. And he's looking at the family and curses the family and all the generations that will come after, the descendants of said family, and how he's going to literally destroy them until he finds the book, because they hid the book. And this book has now been passed down to present day.
It starts off with William Shatner coming home saying, hey, I still can't find Dad. He's still missing. Dad shows up a few minutes later with his face literally melting off.
It's motherfucking melting off. This is not CGI. This is like, they really fucking did this with some crazy, like, tubing in the mask and, like, different, like, pressure fucking machines that did different things. There was like 3 or 4 of them that did different things. One made bubbles. The other one put the fucking wax to go through the tubes. The other one, like, colorized them.
One of them had fog on it.
Yeah, it was intense.
Said they ironed tubes flat and then put them under the mask so they could, put out all these effects. And
this is very fucking effective. I mean, it looks creepy and misplaced. Some of y'all probably gonna be like, oh, that's just corny. This movie's corny. But, I mean, you have to take into effect that, yeah, it might be corny because, you live in an age where you have fucking Spider-Man climbing on fucking, walls and shit and doing crazy bullshit. This is, like, way before that, when you had none of that technology and you were like, oh, I have to, like, MacGyver some bullshit up together to fucking make this fucking work. And so you gotta give mad props to this effect, because I think it's very effectful. And this was like melting people on screen.
Yeah, they just do it live. I mean, they had to do multiple takes of different people over the course of the movie melt. But at one point, they said they were using sex dolls though they could put the masks on the sex dolls and melt them because they didn't want to have to pay people to sit around while they just melted them. So they were just putting the masks on sex dolls and melting the stuff so that they didn't have to pay anyone. I thought that was pretty clever.
Yeah, guys, in 1974, I have to say, PSA moment, there were thousands of sex dolls that were actually murdered for the making of The Devil's Reign.
So now after, you cut to now and Shatner's like, look, I'm going to go take care of this business. And then he heads out to the abandoned town in the middle of the desert, like you do, by yourself. Takes a necklace with him that they say, whatever you do, don't take this off.
It's a fucking ghost town, guys. A ghost town in a desert. I think this is like a conundrum.
Yeah, but before he even gets there, he literally leaves the house, goes out to the car, opens the door. There is like a voodoo doll looking thing of his mom pinned to the steering wheel. And he's like, huh, what is this? And then you hear like screams and lights flashing from the house. He stands there for a really long time just looking at it like, looks like some fucked up shit's going on in the house. He runs in after maybe 30 seconds.
Does he run in, or does he Michael Myers walk inside?
Yeah,
I guess it's kind of fast, but yeah, I feel he needed to be like mad running, like, oh shit, my mama gonna die. He was like skipping to the door.
He gets in the house and goes in the house, and the older guy that helps his mom out, is literally tied upside down, hanging
like
from the ceiling, and just hanging there. Like, all this happened in 30 seconds. They came in, they ransacked the house, tied an old man up from the ceiling, and took the mom away.
He was a living tarot card. And also, I want to say, is it just me, or did that person playing that role also look like the guy you buy the Mogwai from? Yeah,
he did look a little like him.
Yeah,
that long white beard and everything.
Yeah, he looked just like him. I was like, am I watching Gremlins, or is this The Devil's Reign? I don't know what's happening. Gizmo gonna pop out?
But yeah, so then the story goes from there. Now the cast of this movie is pretty intense. You got William Shatner playing one of the family members. You got Tom Skerritt. You got Ernest Borgnine. And in a very small role, you got John Travolta just showing up as one of the cult members.
Who the fuck was John Travolta? I didn't even see that motherfucker. And Anton LaVey was in this bitch? What the fuck? Fucking Mr. Satan cult leader himself just showed up? Like,
yeah, he was with the guy that was wearing the gold mask thing that was calling for him to come forward.
Yeah, I don't even know.
And his wife also played the wife of Corbus in the past.
What? Mind blown right now. But let's go back to John Travolta. I didn't even see him, and you didn't even point him fucking out.
He was the much. Remember when I said?
Was he wearing a white suit? Was he fucking doing the?
No shit. He was the guy when he came out, and I said, "Oh no, Mr. Carter, look what happened to me now."
That's why you said that. It went totally over my fucking head.
Yeah, that's why I said, man, there's worse things than being a sweat hog.
Wow.
That was the guy. He's in it for about 2 seconds. Yeah.
Well, now we know how he became famous. He sold his soul in The Devil's Reign, and that's how he became John Travolta.
Yeah. So this movie is it's pretty creepy, and it's got a lot of really whoever the set designers in that were, they put a lot of attention.
The set designer, the fucking creator of the fucking props, everyone involved that had anything to do. I feel like because there was just very limited locations, they went all out with everything else. And they really went all out. I mean, the detail is sick.
Yeah, there's a prop where Corbus is keeping all of the souls inside this jar where the devil's rain is coming down on them constantly. It reminds me of, I wonder if they got this idea, if the Superman people stole this idea a little bit for the Phantom Zone. Because you see all the people, there's a giant, it's like a big vase with a gold ram's head on top of it. And you can see inside the clear part of the vase, and you see all the people pushing their faces up against the glass and screaming to get out and to help. It reminded me of the scene from Superman with the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, for sure. It did remind me of that too. I also was thinking about the Haunted Mansion, the fortune teller and the thing too. But this film, it's, man, the 70s. I mean, we've said it so many times. We've covered so many films that have taken place during the 70s, and they're just so damn intense. This was a notch up from a made-for-TV film.
Yeah.
It did have that kind of feel, a little feel to it. Only because of how, the subject matter is, mad dark.
Yeah.
And you rarely see, these were like, they had like the Puritan hats and everything. Like,
Yeah,
they were back in the period piece because they went back in time. I don't want to spoil too much of the film, but they went back and there was a flashback scene, and you get to see like Corbus with, it reminded me of Poltergeist Poltergeist 2 when they go back.
Yeah, and they're showing that flashback.
They show the flashback of the preacher underground with all the people that were, part of the cult and stuff. It reminded me of that. Actually, obviously, that happened like way, after like 10 plus years after this film came out. I wonder if
any of this like influenced the people that made The Witch, because there's a lot of thing about. I mean, I know a lot of this is historical fact too about the witch books and all. Put your name in the devil's book and all that. But it does kind of remind me a little bit of that, especially with the families back in the Pilgrim ages, and that it is a little similar.
It is, but I think that's solely because whoever did their research for this film knew, had to research, what was going on during that time frame. And, kind of like, I don't want to say the things that you just would know. Like when you're watching, The Witch, if you know anything about that part of history, like the different things to look for. Like it was like, oh my God. This is happening. But this is actually the film where I don't want to give too much away. I mean, we kind of gave some stuff away. Spoiler. We're terrible with the spoilers. We are, if you've listened to us before. But I don't really want to spoil this one. But I have to say,
there's some interesting things in it.
There's some interesting things. It's definitely a film that I have to say in front of everyone and the world that I am sorry that I not watched this earlier, Shad. You were right. This movie is thebomb.com, as he said back in the day. And I didn't doubt the movie was going to be, decent. I mean, it does have William Shatner. He is major extra in it. But he's not really in the film for too long.
No, he's not in it that much.
It's kind of weird to say, but I mean, like we said, we don't want to give him much away, but his performance is fine. It's not too, overblown. It's just, you see William Shatner in the movie, you want to laugh.
Well, what's interesting is really the top billing on it goes to Ernest Borgnine and Eddie Albert, who comes in near the end of the movie. That's who gets top billing, is those two. Yeah,
because those were at the time like the most recognizable people.
Yeah, and then it's like also starring William Shatner, Tom Skerritt.
Yeah, because Tom Skerritt became, something a little way after the fact.
And Tom Skerritt he looks the same as he did like when you see him in Alien, but he looks a little weird in this. Like his mustache is a little too big or something. Like they could have trimmed that back.
I'm going to tell you that Tom Skerritt as an older gentleman, and I'm saying like Poison Ivy, if you've ever seen this film, wowza. Yeah. I would like the Tom Skerritt from Poison Ivy more than I would like this Tom Skerritt, because I saw him and I was like, ew!
Well, he has the kind of like the Donald Sutherland effect, where Donald Sutherland got better looking as he got older. Like Donald Sutherland in the 70s is like giant mustache, crazy afro. As he gets older, the hair shrinks, the mustache trims up, his hair grows gray. He's like, okay, that's a pretty decent looking guy there. He looks pretty normal. Same thing with Tom Skerritt.
You actually have put a lot of thought into this thing. But this Donald...
Well, you look at the thing like with Donald Sutherland, you look at it and you go, this is not the same guy as it was back in the 70s. And you think, well, how the hell did this guy make Kiefer Sutherland? Because they look nothing alike. So yeah, I have thought about the Sutherland thing before.
Yeah, you have. I mean, I've heard you mention it before, but this is the actual like...
Don't make me point at you and do the thing.
No, yeah, I don't like that. But you definitely went down and...
You went down the rabbit hole on that one.
You sure did. So, even though we said no spoilers, I want to spoil the ending.
No. Well, here's what we can talk about instead.
It's not a happy ending. I'll just say that, and I'll leave it at that. It's not a happy ending. And, that wasn't really... I mean, the Hays Code at this point has been kind of thrown out, so that wasn't like a big thing where every fucking movie had to have a happy ending and you had to follow all this different. Obviously this movie would not have been made if they were going by the Hays Code.
Yeah, this was in the 70s, but it was pretty early on when they had started the whole RPG and all that kind of stuff. So
this is a heavy movie. It's you got, I mean, it is major a cult movie. I would say that this is actually the number one occult movie I've seen in my life.
Because, well, I mean, look, we talked about Anton LaVey playing the high priest. He was also the technical advisor for the movie. So when you have the actual high priest of the Church of Satan giving you advice on the movie, how does that work? Does he just come and hang out? Like, is he just in sweatpants and a t-shirt, or is he in the like black robes and stuff all the time?
I know. Is he like what is he doing? Is he floating? Like, what the fuck is he doing? Is he wearing like fucking horns? When they were doing the makeup, he was like, you know what? This has to be more goat-like. We're gonna need some more goat hair on this. I just don't get it. I don't. What else is he doing?
Yeah, I need to see some of like behind.
And how would he fucking know what it sounds like in fucking hell or anything like that?
I think if anybody's gonna know, it's gonna be him.
Okay, but maybe it's like a Lucifer situation, where Lucifer's like, "Hey, I'm a good guy. I'm not about that." If you watch that show,
I've got a bad rap over the years.
Yeah, I got a bad rap. That's not me for some reason. I don't know. He's like,
he's like from New Jersey.
Yeah, he's from New Jersey.
What show was that where they said, "Have you been to hell?" They said, "No, I've been to New Jersey." And they went, "Close enough." So, yeah, it could be.
Wow. ...
No,
Sorry, New Jersey.
Tell you one thing about this movie, that this movie is earned its place in movie history just from the fact that the live cast that they made of William Shatner's face in this to do some makeup on him later on is the live cast that was used to make the Captain Kirk masks that were released shortly after this.
Bum, bum, bum. And we all know what the Captain Kirk mask is famous for.
Yep. So, if there was no Devil's Reign, what are you doing, Jason? What the hell's wrong with you?
I wanted to do that thing where it's like the wrong thing. Those shits you love where they show the poster and it's like, This is Friday the 13th, on October 31st, and it's a picture of fucking Chucky.
From Student Bodies.
Yeah, like it's a stupid, one of those mashup things. Not Student Bodies per se, but one of those crazy mashups. Yes, Halloween, 1978, my all-time favorite movie of all time.
I thought maybe you lost your damn mind there for a minute.
That's when when I got the Simers, is when I'm talking about like, oh, Jason running around in his blue jumpsuit, like killing that Laurie Strode.
Like that interview they always show the clip of with Jamie Lee Curtis, where it was like, "Did you ever get tired of running around from the guy in the hockey mask?" And she was like, "No, since I didn't do that."
It's just like that. Let's fucking talk about something. The Devil's Reign is over. This concludes our discussion about The Devil's Reign. Watch it. I don't know where it's on because we saw it on DVD.
Yeah, a friend of mine got me the Blu-ray a while back from my birthday.
I'm sorry. Blu-ray.
Yes, Blu-ray. Please use the right term.
Blu-ray.
And I don't think it's on the Ethan Prime or anything right now. It came out through Severin, and a lot of their stuff they kind of hold on to for a while. So it'll be there eventually, but it's not that expensive on Amazon. I did not get the super expensive one that came with the replica of the amulet. I'm still a little sore about that one. But it sold out like immediately. Like as soon as they said, "Hey, it comes with a replica of the amulet in the movie," nerds were throwing themselves off of buildings to get in line for it. And I didn't hear about it until it was too late. So,
you know what? The first two people that fucking comment on Instagram when we post about this or on YouTube will send you a bag of the Devil's Reign and some goat hair.
Which may resemble just a wet Ziploc bag with some cat hair in it, but I digress. All right, now that we've kind of wrapped up a little bit on the Devil's Reign, you have a subject that you want to talk about now.
Yes, I fucking do have a subject that I want to talk about. This is how I wanted to start the podcast, with my crazy rant. Crazy rant time.
Okay.
What the fuck, man? Anthony Michael Hall? Come on! Come on! I'm sorry. I'm just like, really? Tommy Doyle? He's no Tommy Doyle. Okay? I'm sorry. He looks like he's 5. Jamie Lee Curtis is older than this man, and she looks wonderful. He looks like, I don't even know, and no offense to him, okay? No offense. But he looks like he's been through some shit. And are they keeping the continuity that he had to raise his child alone? Like, what happened to this kid? Or he raised the fucking little boy. The baby. He raised it with the lady.
Baby. This ignores all those.
Remember? Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I got Paul Rudd crazy. I forgot that we erased all of that. Fine. He just ran out the house. He fucking whatever. He's been traumatized. Maybe he also has, this is boom. This is how they connect them. Michael Myers, okay, he was in the basement locked, right? You're like, oh shit, he can't get out of the basement. The whole fucking house is on fire. There was an actual exit that she forgot about. They just say, booby trap exit. And it actually leads onto a tunnel. When Michael Myers comes out of the fucking basement, it's fucking Tommy Doyle's house. And it's like, oh shit. Look at this motherfucker back. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? No. That's gonna happen. That's how they're gonna link the two. Really? Tommy Doyle? Anthony Michael Hall? No. I don't know. I just don't see it. It doesn't matter. Not that I thought that Paul Rudd was coming back. I knew that shit was not going to happen. This motherfucker would have not come back if they offered him like $15 million, he would think about it.
That's going to be the budget for the next like 3 Halloween movies, so they're not going to do that.
Yeah, so that wasn't going to happen. Ant-Man was not going to fucking be Tommy Doyle. And I had no disillusions that was going to happen at all. I actually don't even see the whole purpose of him even coming back into the whole fold of the movie. I mean, don't these people move away? Why do they still live in this godforsaken fucking place?
Are they going to bring Lindsay back too? And who is she? Who will they have playing her?
I mean, it should be the fucking woman from the Real Housewives of fucking California, whatever the fuck stupid shows is that I may or may not watch. Kyle Richards.
But will they, though?
No, they're not going to bring fucking Kyle Richards back, okay? That's not happening. And there's no point for her to come back. What is the whole point? Why would she come back? Why would she even still live there? I would fucking go to college. Get the fuck out of there. Go somewhere else. There's like 40, other states. Go away.
Well,
I don't know.
Everybody stays around town, apparently.
What do you think about it? Are you happy? Technically, Tommy Doyle is 49. Anthony Michael Hall is 51. He looks like he's 75.
He doesn't look that bad.
He looks terrible.
Last time I saw him at Spooky Empire, he didn't look that bad.
Yeah, that was like 4 or 5 years ago. It's been some time. It wasn't last year.
It was 3 years ago.
It was longer than... It doesn't matter. 3 years, that's way too long for this man. He's melting just like the people from the fucking Devil's Reign.
But here's what I want, though.
And Tommy Doyle, I saw you doing the math. Tommy Doyle's 25 years old in 1995. Just so we throw that out there. That's how old he was. He was 8 years old in 19... He was born in 1970. And he was 8 in 1978.
Yeah.
Obviously. So he's 25 in 1995. It is 2019. So he would be 49.
Yeah.
I did all the math.
I understand.
In my head.
Not disagreeing with you.
Did it all. It's not that close. It's not that far of a distance of age between the actor and this character.
Yeah.
I just don't see him. I just don't see him as Tommy Doyle.
Well, we'll have to see. He might be all right. Sometimes people surprise you.
I'm not going to hold my breath for that one.
I mean, people were fighting in the streets when Michael Keaton was going to be Batman. And now people love it.
Yeah, do they love it, though? Because he's still as stiff as ever. It is.
Well, that was because of the costume, not because of him. But I saw, like, nerds almost come to blows over Keaton in it. Like, literally someone screaming that it had to be Jean-Claude Van Damme because you had to have somebody in shape because you got to have somebody that can wear that tight costume and show muscles. Then they just put plastic ones on Keaton, and everybody was like, oh, you can do that.
Yeah, that was a weird choice, I feel, for the costume design for that. But we digress. That's not
okay, but here's what I want from Halloween. What I want the Halloween movies to do is I want Tom Atkins to show up and be the father of Laurie Strode's kid, the daughter. I want him to be the father. Because I wanted to tie into the fact that my theory is that after how the original Halloween, Laurie was upset. She had post-traumatic stress. She needed to get out and travel. So she went out and traveled. She didn't tell anybody her real name. She just went on the road. And one day, when she was out just walking through the roads in California...
You're such an ass.
A guy in a pickup truck stopped and picked her up. Who was it? Tom Atkins.
Tom Atkins from The Fog.
From The Fog. And then she gets caught in another fucking horror event. Like, it's not bad enough Michael Myers was after. She goes to this town, goddamn people coming out of the fog trying to kill everybody. And she's like, what the fuck? So, of course, I mean, we saw her hook up immediately with Tom Atkins in that movie. Like, he didn't even have to say anything. He just looked at her. And the next scene, they're in bed. So, and that would have been in 81. That would be possible if this could be her daughter. I just want Tom Atkins to show up in another Halloween movie. And let this be the backstory.
First of all, you heard
that would be amazing, first of all.
Yes, that would be amazing. You heard it here first. So if you hear another podcast that, probably has like a bajillion subscribers, they stole it from our podcast.
Also, second theory, Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis.
Don't get all the theories out. I feel like you should save the theory for another theory, another theme.
Another theme? Okay. I'll save my...
Because I feel like I know where this one is going, and I feel like you should save it.
Okay, I'll save the Dr. Loomis theory for later.
Yeah, Dr. Loomis theory. That's the name of my new band, by the way. So, yeah, tell us how you feel about this Anthony Michael Hall bullshit. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you care? Does anyone care? I don't care. I mean, I do care, but...
Oh, you care.
I care because I'm still trying to care about Halloween because I'm really not a fan of this recent Halloween. It's just like, just because you put something that's fucking Halloween and you shove it down my throat with a plunger and Jamie Lee Curtis doesn't make it fucking Halloween for me. You can just eradicate.
But what are you going to do when they get up to the sequel? It's like Too Halloween, Too Furious.
No, I'm not watching that.
It's Michael Myers in the car chasing people around.
I see it as this. I love the franchise so much. I already knew that going to see the unnamed person that recreated Halloween in his image,
Rob Zombie.
I went to go see that just so I wasn't the person who hated on the movie but never saw it. So it was one of those things. I had to see it. I knew it was going to be shit right off the bat. And it was the major shit of the fucking century, millennium.
But at the same time, you got to go see it just because. But it's weird with Halloween, though, because I don't think there's any other horror franchise that they've rebooted twice. They haven't rebooted any of the others, really. They tried to do a remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, but that failed terribly. And that one of Friday the 13th, it wasn't really so much a reboot or anything as it was just another sequel. I thought.
Because I don't care what anybody thinks. Because the true fact of the matter is, Halloween is the ultimate horror film. And it is the father of the franchise. And everything else is in the back. Like, the story itself is a great story. Because it kind of stems from like the whole lore of the whole babysitter being attacked while she's watching the kids. That is taken and made into what we obviously saw in the first and second films. Yeah, the rest of the series is like crap. There's things here and there, but you have a great foundation and you can remake that over and over again because that's never going to stop being scary. People are always going to be taking care of kids. Like, even in these films.
And kids are little monsters.
And even in this film, there's still a babysitter taking care of a kid. Yep. So you can't really stray away from it. But the other films, the stories they're just not even strong to begin with. They're just kind of weak. Like, there's a whole bunch of fucking plot holes in Friday the 13th. Like, how did he become a man if he died as a kid? Like, there's so many things. Let's not get into that. There's so many things. Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, that one is, I would say, a close second because you're in a dream world, so you can do you have no limits. You can take this to, I mean, they could make a really good film, but then again, it's about a fucking child molester. No one really wants to see a movie about a child molester. So if you're really going to get down to it, and I think that's maybe why, amongst other things, that new reboot didn't really do any.
I've always kind of thought that if they rebooted Nightmare on Elm Street, they should include a part where after they kill Freddy and, burn him and whatever, they find out he didn't do it. That he was just happened to be the creepy janitor and that it was someone else that did it and they burned him. And then that would make it even more like he's coming back for revenge, because it's like they really wronged him. You know, he was just an innocent guy. And then now he's coming back for the grave to be like, look, you thought it was cool to kill an innocent guy? Now I'm going to go after your kids. You know, that'd be a different twist on it.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us as we have our little rant and kind of mini review The Devil's Reign, because we would, spoil the shit out of it if we could. But I feel like we gave, little tidbits of what we liked the movie here and there. And did you want to add anything? Because I know this is like one of your films.
Yeah, no, I think we covered the main ones without spoiling everything. I know we were trying to avoid that, so.
Yeah, we are trying to avoid the spoiler.
See The Devil's Reign, because it's worth it.
And, like I said, comment on one of those places, and you're going to get some Devil's Reign and some goat hair. Straight from the JumpScare podcast. Stay tuned to the horror, guys.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.